Hello, Miriam Slosberg here, and the date is October the 11th, 2013. And guess what? There is another update that Klout had, and it's all tied into the whole makeover that they had, the whole profile makeover that they had almost a month ago. So if you do recall, right after their makeover, you were not able to do anything with the influencer list like you were able to, switch it around before the whole platform change happened. However, now things are a little different, so they're continuing to tweak and update and what have you. So who's going to be displayed on your list? Well, it's either going to display who's going to be displaying on your profile? Well, it's either going to display those who you selected in a public list. If you grouped, a bunch of people in a public list that you created, or if you didn't create any lists, or if you didn't set, it to show anyone from any lists, it'll just default to recent moments interactors, which basically populates right away based off of the Klout algorithm, and that basically will display users that interact most with your updates. So, in other words, those who've been interacting with you the most based on what you're putting out, and if you don't have any list to display, those are the ones who are going to be showing up on your profile. And I'm not sure if it's going to rank by score. I think it's going to rank how often they're interacting with you. However, if you choose to have those showing up, due to a list that you put out, and if you choose to do that, the higher up the score, the higher up they're going to show up on your profile. So how does this work? Well, here's the thing. You have a choice to select any list that you want to display. So I only have one. You can create more. So it gives you an option to create a new list. I have the one list here that I just created, and I just put, people into that list who I felt were, who I wanted to group into that list. Or if I didn't want to have any list member showing up, I can just put the recent moments interactors. Okay, so that's the default. So if I did that, this is, who shows up. So here, so it tells you right there that it doesn't really matter, like who's going to show up. It's not going to really matter based on score. It's going to matter how often they're interacting with you. As you can see, this one has a lower score than this one, and even this one is, on the bottom there, has a higher score than this one. So, it's all up to you what you want, who you want displayed. So, if you want to keep it random like that, then that's fine. However, if you have certain people you want to show up, well, it depends on their score. Obviously, the lower their score, the less likely they're going to show up on your profile page. Again, it's ranked based on their score, right? So anyway, I choose to have those based on that list to show up on my profile. So here's the thing too. If you want to add more people into a particular list, you just click edit. All right, and then you can basically add who you want. You just type in their name. You don't have to worry about their Twitter handle like you used to, and it tells you like who has the higher score on your list. It also gives you the average score of compiled based on those, the average score based on those in your list there. The average network size and how much activity, you can find all of that through it all changes based on the size of your list too, and it's all actually, it can get very interesting to see, because I have those who are in this particular list, it's pretty wide, scores from 81 all the way down to 59, so that's how I ended up getting an average of 73 based on that particular group. And as far as the network size, this is the average based on that as well. That's going to be a little bit different anyway. However, it's interesting too, because it tells you, whoever's in your list, it tells you how what their strongest network is. If they're more active, say on Twitter or Facebook, it tells you right there. So it's pretty interesting. And you can also, that's the averages. The other statistics here gives you network distribution, which tells you how active they are on different networks. So it's pretty interesting. So Instagram seems like the least active one, whereas Twitter and surprisingly Google Plus is even more active than Facebook. And you can also take a look at the top topics that people have in their Klout profiles. So seems like Google is a popular one, speakers, cloning, which I don't understand. Anyway, government, yeah. So it tells you right there. So you know what? It's interesting, and you can go back to the profile. So that's how you can edit, and it saves by itself, by the way. So here's the other thing too. You can create as many lists as you want, and I'm not going to see. I have another list here as well, and that's an old one. So anyway, you can create a list if you want. I'm not going to do it. However, if you say, I don't know, you just have a group of those who, say, you want to say dog lovers, and then you can write a description if you want. You also have the option to make the list public or private. Now the thing is, that's if you want to make it private, that's fine. Just know that you're not able to display anybody from your private list, and you probably wouldn't anyway. You probably wouldn't want to anyway if the list is private. But I'm just letting you know, just in case. So if you want people to be displayed from any list that you have, you're going to want to make it public. So, again, you can create as many lists as you want, and that's basically what's going on now. That's the latest update from Klout. So, yeah. So now the influencers have changed around. They're not really called influencers anymore. So it's up to you what you want to do. I mean, you know what? If you don't want any particular list, you don't care about having a list, and you don't care if anyone is showing up from any list, then you can always, again, remember to default to the recent moments interactors. That's the default. So anyone who's interacting with you the most will show up. Okay? So that's basically the latest update about Klout. And when there's more, I will be definitely updating you more. I'll keep updating you every time there's a change. Alright, in the meantime, I will talk to you soon, and take care.